Hello, Saints. I've been considering the three angels' messages again, and I know we've talked about that in the past. But I've come across some things that seem to, where people are drawing questions upon that, or what it really means. And the focus is on the second part of the first angel's message, to where they want to emphasize that part of where God is coming to judge, as if that's the message we're to give the world. And I want to assure you that just giving a message of judgment is not what God called the last day people to do. If you look at the first angel's message, there are three parts to consider. And those parts are, first, I saw an angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to give to those who dwell on the earth, and to every nation, kindred, tongue, and people. The first part of the message is the everlasting gospel. And we've had professors and theologians, as well as those outside of the denomination, try to tell us that this gospel message, this everlasting gospel, is not the gospel of salvation, but rather a gospel of judgment. That somehow judgment is good news to preach to those who dwell on the earth. Well, the fact is, to the saints, judgment is good news, because God is restoring justice. He's taking the world back from Satan. And to God's people, that is good news. But the good news that this angel is preaching is to those who dwell on the earth. Now, 10 times in the book of Revelation, this phrase, those who dwell on the earth, is used. And without exception, it is always in reference to unbelievers. And to unbelievers, to give them a message and call it the gospel, that God is coming to judge, is not good news. If anything, it's a warning message of their doom. Before we give a message of judgment, we need to give a message of hope, restoration. The three angels' messages are the last message that goes out into the world before the end comes. After the three angels' messages, there are no other message. The second coming appears in that chapter. So, in a message of hope, the hope that has to be given first is a hope of salvation and restoration. And that's what he's called us to be kingdom builders, to be restorers of the faith, to bring people to the knowledge of Christ as we prepare for his coming. Next time, we'll spend a little more time trying to talk about what is the gospel to preach to those who dwell on the earth. Blessings.